Most people will want to argue that 2019 was the worst year ever, with the outbreak of the coronavirus.
So the coronavirus outbreak
Some may
has
even
now
go as
killed
far
more
as
than
betting their
1,000
lives
people.
funny.
In total,
They maybe be
there are
right.
over 42,000
People lost family
recorded
members,
cases.
friends, jobs,
The
and couldn't move
number of
around
deaths
freely
caused
because of
by
the
the virus
coronavirus
now
outbreak.
stands at
But I bet you,
1,016
the people in the
China.
year 536 would have loved to have 2019 as a break from their long nightmares. Sit tight as I reveal to you why 536 is considered the worst year ever to be alive even by renowned scientists. The year 536 was a pivotal year in history, marked by both significant events and a major environmental catastrophe. The Roman historian Procopius recorded in AD 536 in his report on the wars with the Vandals. During this year a most dread portent took place. For the sun gave forth its light without brightness, and it seemed exceedingly like the sun in eclipse, for the beams it shed were not clear. He said the sun rays were not clear, and they appeared weak, and it was impossible to see the shadows of people at noon. The heat from the sun was weak, and the moon even when full wasn't bright. Prolonged frost and unseasonable drought. The seasons seem to be all jumbled up together. The sky is described as blended with alien elements, just like cloudy weather, except prolonged. It was stretched like a hide across the sky and prevented the true colors of the sun and moon from being seen, along with the sun's warmth. Frosts during harvest, which made apples harden and grapes sour. The need to use stored food to last through the situation. The volcanic winter of AD 536 was the most severe and protracted episode of climatic cooling in the northern hemisphere in the last 2,000 years. The volcanic winter was caused by at least 3 simultaneous eruptions of uncertain origin, with several possible locations proposed in various continents. Most contemporary accounts of the volcanic winter are from authors in Constantinople, the capital of the Eastern Roman Empire, although the impact of the cooler temperatures extended beyond Europe. In March 536, Constantinople began experiencing darkened skies and lower temperatures. The most impactful event was the volcanic winter caused by a massive eruption, likely in Iceland. This eruption spewed ash and dust into the atmosphere, blocking sunlight for 18 months. Fruits could not ripen and wine tasted like sour grapes. Global cooling. Temperatures dropped by 1.5 degrees Celsius to 2.5 degrees Celsius, plunging the northern hemisphere into a cold period. Summer temperatures in 536 fell by as much as 2.5 degrees Celsius for 0.5 degrees Fahrenheit, below normal in Europe. The lingering impact of the volcanic winter of 536 was augmented in 539 to 540, when another volcanic eruption caused summer temperatures to decline as much as 2.7 degrees Celsius for 0.9 degrees Fahrenheit below normal in Europe. There is evidence of still another volcanic eruption in 547, which would have extended the cooler period. The volcanic eruptions caused crop failures and were accompanied by the plague of Justinian, famine, and millions of deaths, and initiated the late antique Little Ice Age, which lasted from 536 to 560. Crop failure. Widespread famine occurred across Europe, the Middle East, and Asia as crops failed due to lack of sunlight and extreme weather. Low temperatures, even snow during the summer snow reportedly fell in August in China, which caused the harvest there to be delayed. Widespread crop failures. A dense, dry fog in the Middle East, China, and Europe. Drought in Peru, which affected the moche culture. Disease. The cold and famine conditions contributed to the spread of diseases like the plague of Justinian, which would devastate the Byzantine Empire in the following decades. Little Ice Age, which lasted from 536 to 560. The most widely accepted theory is that the plague was caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis, the same one responsible for the Black Death centuries later. Recent DNA analysis of plague victims from the era supports this theory. The plague is said to have been spread by infected rats, and their fleas played a significant role, as they did in later outbreaks. Other potential vectors include direct human-to-human contact and contaminated water and food. The cold and famine caused by the volcanic winter could have made people more susceptible to infections. Those who were infected had symptoms like fever and chills, which was mostly accompanied by severe pain and discomfort. Victims also experienced swollen lymph nodes, also called as buboes. It was painful and formed in the armpits, groin, and neck. In extreme cases, they would experience skin lesions, which was the darkening of the pus-filled buboes on the skin, indicating severe infection. The respiratory distress was often the final stage of the infection. Once victims struggled to breathe and couldn't succeed, the end result was death. The disposal of the dead bodies was done differently. This could be due to cultural heritage and others. Mass graves were dug to quickly and efficiently bury the deceased, minimizing contact with individual bodies. In some cases, quicklime, calcium oxide, was used to decompose bodies rapidly and sanitize infected areas. Cremation was practiced in some cultures to prevent the spread of disease and offer a symbolic cleansing ritual. In order to control the spread of the disease, those who were infected were isolated with their belongings to prevent the disease from spreading further. The 536 event and ensuing famine have been suggested as an explanation for the deposition of hoards of gold by Scandinavian elites at the end of the migration period. The gold was possibly a sacrifice to appease the gods and get the sunlight back. Mythological events such as the Fimbulwinter and Ragnarok are theorized to be based on the cultural memory of the event. Michael McCormick, a historian and archaeologist, referred to 536 as the year the world went dark, due to the volcanic winter's global impact. He emphasizes the widespread famine, disease, and societal disruption caused by the event. Kyle Harper, an environmental historian, argues in his book The Fate of Rome that 536 marked a turning point in Roman history. He attributes the empire's decline, in part, to the combined effects of the volcanic winter, plague, and political instability. The Annals of Ulster, an Irish chronicle, record widespread famine in Ireland during 536, highlighting the event's impact beyond the Byzantine Empire. Attributing the title of worst year to any specific year in history is ultimately a subjective and challenging task. However, the events of 536 undeniably had a profound and far-reaching impact, making it a significant year worthy of study and reflection.